Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another YouTube video. It's your boy, the Hungry Hornet, and today's video is New Rider Tips, the New Rider Survival Guide, how to build confidence on the road. We're going to keep things nice and simple with this video. We've discussed some of these topics previously, but it'd be nice to condense them all into sort of one go-to video for new riders out there. The key to building confidence on your motorcycle is by starting small. Now, for our American brethren out there, that could also mean not getting a Hayabusa as their first bike. Before our European compadres out there, we're obviously limited by the license system. For better or for worse, it's there to make sure you've got the correct sort of knowledge and skill and confidence before you get onto a bigger bike. It's a pretty simple process here in Europe. The idea is you end up being limited to a certain kilowattage on a bike, certain power on a bike, and you can't go above it until you reach a certain age and you pass a certain test. So we've got 3 tiers on the motorcycle test here in the UK. You end up starting off on what's called a CBT, which is compulsive basic training. The idea behind that is to make sure you've got the training you need geared towards a 125cc up to 125cc powered bike of around 15 brake horsepower, and you've got 2 years to then either retake your CBT and ride on learner plates, or take your direct access course, which gives you direct access to motorcycle, your motorcycle license, dependent on what age you are. So if you fall into the category of you're 24 and above, you can do your full A license tour. Well, basically it's a bit complicated. It doesn't matter anyway. This is not what the video is about. The video is about how you as a new rider can gain your confidence, and it's a survival guide basically. So riding a motorcycle, starting off, it can be really scary. I remember the first time I started off, I was like Bambi, shaking. I was shaking. My heart was absolutely pounding. The first time that I started riding my bike unsupervised after my CBT, I was scared. Couldn't even do a U-turn, you know. But obviously confidence is gained through repetition. Repetition is gained through experience, and experience is gained through hours in the saddle. I've said this many times before on this channel. It's all about getting as many hours as you can on the bike. Now, you always have to start off small, I'd say. Don't go long trips. I mean, I remember I did a long trip first time just to try and gain my confidence, but you know, the best way to do it is start small. Start with smaller trips, you know. That's going to the shops, you know. Go pick up a ham sandwich from the shops on your bike. You know, just do little things and start branching out and getting more confident and going a bit more longer and doing a little bit more, trying a little bit more. And it's all to do with the roads you're riding as well, you know. Like, don't go straight away onto twisty roads and think, oh, like, you know, with sharp hairpins and sharp corners and sharp turns and horrible surface, you know. You don't want to do that, you know. I was going to show you today a little bit of that, but I think it's a bit icy out here and I don't want to, you know, I don't want to risk it. So what I'll do is I'll just go a normal road. But you want to try relaxed roads. You don't want to go into city commuting straight away, you know. Don't go flying off to your nearest city just to have a potter around, you know. Take things slowly, take things as a gradual process, and also, you know, celebrate your small wins, because it takes a lot of guts to go out on your bike first time, you know, and then second time and third time. Don't be disheartened by, you know, like things that might go wrong during your trip. Like, for instance, you might have a near miss. Learn from the near miss, you know. If you feel a bit shaky out on the road, take your time. Take your time. Don't allow other car drivers to bully you because you got L plates or you're a newly passed rider, you know. And don't fall into that mentality of going into group rides and trying to keep up with the leader. You know, go at your own pace. You are in control here, no one else. It's you that is at risk. If you fall off, who has to suffer the consequences? Yourself. No one else has to. It's you. It's your burden. So you got to take your time. You know, if that means that, you know, you're on a 60-mile-an-hour back road and you decide, oh, I'm gonna, you know, wham this down to 30 or 40, that's completely and utterly up to you. Don't let people behind you push you into, you know, going too fast or going above your comfort zone. You need to realise that your confidence will be gained from experiencing the road and all it has to offer. Now, you know, it's not all roses out here on the road. You know, it can be quite difficult, it can be quite challenging, you know, and it's, you're getting to know the sort of certain, you know, the highway code and what to expect, and, you know, ride your local area, you know, really get to know your local area, and then start branching out. Then start going out on little adventures, and then before you know it, you'll feel pretty confident, you know. It's scary out there when you're by yourself as a rider, so, you know, try and find a good support network of friends and bikers that can help you, and you know, watch YouTube channels like this and others. You know, others are available where you can get, you know, tips, tricks, and gain your confidence. So always start slow, you know, watch your speed, study the highway code. That's a good one, I think. You know, and also look at a lot of videos of when things go wrong driving and motorcycling, you know, and learn from them. The biggest tip that you can get from riding a motorcycle is look where you want to go, so you keep your eyes locked on where you want to go. And if you start looking over there, you'll notice the bike will start to veer. See the bike's veering, even though I'm not steering it. I didn't steer it, I didn't touch it there, it just went, because your body automatically starts to lean towards where it wants to go. So you need to get used to that idea. Don't look where you don't want to go. That is the worst thing you can do, because you end up smashing straight into whatever it is. So you notice you're always looking where you want to go. That was actually a really good example, because I did start to veer. So you look, look, see? The bike's moving over here. You don't want to do that. You know, so when you're like, let's say you're on the road and an accident happens. People do this thing called rubbernecking. It happens in the car as well. They'll just look at the accident and then they won't be looking in front of them, and they can cause another accident. Same on a bike. I've nearly done it before, where I've looked at something and I've had to slam my anchors on. So what's saying, or your dash, let's say, you know, you're keeping an eye on your petrol because you haven't filled up and you think, oh yeah, I'll do that tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, and then the next day comes. And it's also being able to obviously anticipate people's moves. Like, I thought that car there was about to go left, but he didn't. He just stayed. So it's not, you know, it's not assuming anything. So you need to get used to the idea that to be successful at this and to have a long, healthy motorcycle career, you need to be up on your game continuously. There's no room for error. That means getting used to checking your mirrors, checking your shoulders, looking where you want to go, and not being distracted by little things. You know, that's a big part of being a motorcyclist. Another nice tip for a new motorcyclist is getting used to what they call counterbalancing. I was always told that you can steer a bike two ways. The bike has two sets of handlebars. It's got the ones that you put your hands on, and it's got the ones you put your feet on. The foot pegs can be manipulated and leaned upon. As you can see, I'm just leaning on my foot peg slightly, and it can help you make a turn. The same thing with what we call counterbalancing. So that is going the opposite way and balancing your body to sort of even out the bike. So imagine your bike as a pendulum or a seesaw. You want to continuously try and keep that in the middle, you know, to make sure that you're maximizing your turning and also maximizing your safety on the bike. That's very important. Survival guide for new riders is pretty simple. Summary wise, it's very simple. You need to gain your confidence slowly but surely. You need to be a sponge, soak everything up. Get an interest in motorcycling. Get interested in the idea of trying to be a safe motorcyclist. Get an interest in the idea of, how do I go on a longer trip? What's the safest route? Route planning, you know? Getting the idea of, like, okay, I want to go here. I really fancy doing that. How do I do it? In the quickest, safest way possible. And then you take baby steps. It's all about baby steps. It's all about slowly but surely becoming a better motorcycle rider. Another tip that I see a lot of people, they tend to miss out on, is distances to cars. Being able to read your distances. I keep quite a large distance from other cars. I like to hang back. So as you can see, there's, you know, that car in front of me is probably about 6 cars in front, but I still keep that distance. When it's raining, I keep a long distance as well. I don't like to be anywhere near anyone. I don't like motorcyclists riding up my arse either. You know, like on group rides, motorcyclists tend to sort of band together and stick together. I don't like that, you know. I did the Santa run last year, and obviously we're all quite congested together. We're all sort of travelling in a big convoy, and it can cause it caused me to a bit of panic, because I don't like being this close to so many bikes, you know. I will be doing that this year as well, by the way. That Santa run. So yeah, it's, you know, survival guide, new rider survival guide, you know, how to gain your confidence on a bike. It's pretty simple. So to take things as slowly and as gradually as possible, and don't beat yourself up if you get something wrong. Don't beat yourself up if you come off, you know. Sometimes people do come off. I've been fortunate enough not to come off, touch wood, but I also tend to really live by these like hard and fast rules, like distance and speed and approach speed, and making sure you know your route very well, make sure you know your exit, how to exit in a situation, making sure that you're constantly paying attention, making sure you're constantly looking where you want to go and not looking where you don't want to go, because as soon as you look where you don't want to go, you end up going there, you know. Target fixation, get that out of your head. Do not look at a certain area and think at a bend, chevron coming up, that's sharp, bang, you'll be right into the hedge, you know. It's very important to gain confidence by always keeping your head up, looking straight ahead, scanning, visually looking at what you're looking at, visually looking at where you're going, always keeping an eye on your mirrors, always keeping an eye on your surroundings, always knowing where you're going to go and knowing what's going on around you. It's very important as a motorcyclist. Motorcycles are best used as an extension of yourself. They are not there to just mong out on and zone out on, you know. They're there to fully engage your brain, they're there to fully engage your soul, and they're there to fully engage your body. It is a full workout being on a motorcycle. You work out your brain, you work out your body. At no point do you just stare off into the middle distance. You're constantly looking, constantly evaluating, and constantly getting better. If you can get that mindset where you're looking at motorcycling as not just a form of transport, but as a way to get better at something. It's a hobby, and it's a craft, and it's an art form, and it's something that can really, really positively affect your entire life. But also, when you let it slip and you don't live by the rules, and you take it that little bit too far, can also have a detrimental effect on your life by obviously maiming and killing and, you know, hurting. So it's one of respect. So the survival guide for a new rider is learn to respect your surroundings, learn to respect your growth, and learn to take it as easy as you possibly can, because you can only get better at this if you are relaxed and you enjoy the ride, because that's what it is. It is a ride, and it is very enjoyable. And once you start mastering it, it starts to really affect your confidence as a person and makes you grow. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I've been the Hungry Hornet. You've been incredible. Until next time, remember, it's not the destination that counts, it's the journey. And the journey can be a wonderful one if you take it slow and let your confidence build as fast or as slowly as you like, because the end result is always the same, and that's another safe motorcyclist home in time for tea.